I've got some more StarCraft for you tonight. This is Lily versus Joe, I think. And Lily, the Protoss in the top left, and Joe playing as Terran in the bottom right. So, let's have a peek at what's happening here. Joe has sent out this SCV very, very early indeed. And, you know, in general, that only means one thing. That means some sort of cheese. Lily, meanwhile, looking a bit more straight up. The pylon has come down. The probe is there, waiting to drop, presumably a gateway. Although it is a pretty early scout for the Protoss player as well. So, the SCV is straight into the Protoss base, so I don't actually know what this is then. I'm not sure why you would send an SCV so early to scout. You know, you're not going to see anything. What are you going to see? This. I suppose you could arguably... No, Joe. Oh, please make it stop. What is this? You know what I mean? You just... No. Just no. You had one job. You know what I mean? Build workers, build a supply depot, and you've not managed that, and so you're trying to compensate by building 4 supply depots. Just stop this nonsense. Don't be at that. You know, start the game, build a supply depot as soon as you've got money to do so. So SCV will beat the probe. If we have a peek at an SCV, I'll show you 45 hit points it's got compared to 40 hit points that a probe has got. So an SCV wins that fight. Of course, if the probe runs, if the probe turns around now and fights again, then actually the probe can win because it regenerates shield, whereas the SCV does not regenerate unless it is repaired by one of its mates. So the side core is down, the forge is done. I don't think this is a complete wall. I think there's a small gap there that stuff can get through, and there is, and the zealot is just moving into position to block this. Hopefully that zealot is on hold position. Doesn't look like he is, but hopefully he will be shortly. Not that it's crucial against a Terran. So single gas, not too worried about this worker in the main apparently. Expo comes down for Lily. Lily looks like she has a plan. Joe looks like he has not just no plan but no clue. I mean, what the hell is this? Rarely have I seen anything like this. Anyway, the double barracks come right on top of each other. Like, you can't, no room for add-ons. You're most likely going to trap a marine here or something, aren't you? Anyway, yeah, we'll see what I think. I think at this early stage I might be able to call the outcome of this game, but you know, no spoilers. Twilight Council is in production here for our Protoss players, so that's an interesting twist. Did eventually get rid of that SCV in the main, I believe. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks all remarkably normal in Protoss land, to be honest. It looks pretty weird in Terran land. Yeah, pretty weird indeed. But the expo does finally come down for Joe. I noticed there's a bit of a shortage of units really for both players, to be honest. I mean, we're 3.5 minutes in. Lily, however, does have this sort of defensive setup at the front with the stalker in position, and now that there's a cannon, you know, this would probably be able to hold a reasonable amount of stuff. If you are going to go very unit light, it's never a bad plan to have maybe a shield battery at the front. But you know, how much scouting has Lily done? Does she know that her opponent isn't going to come rushing? No, she doesn't. She doesn't know anything. You know, so if you can get away with having no units at the 4-minute mark as long as you scout, as long as you know that your opponent isn't about to come at you. You can do what you like. If you don't scout, then best to play on the safe side and have some units. It's okay to not scout if you are building a mighty army, because if your opponent does rock up, you can still beat it. But you know, you can't do neither. You can't like not scout and not build an army. That's just not cool, man. Okay, so the double cannons here, it looks like this was for early charge, this quite early quite early twilight, so I'm curious to see what pans out here, because if you're going for an early charge build, it's already 5 minutes. You've only got one gateway with only 2 more in production, but with 2 bases saturated, if I'm going early charge, at this point I've got 9, maybe 10 gateways, and I'm just going to hold down the Z button and wang out so many charge lots. It's painful. I wonder if the robo is going to be for a warp prism, so that maybe we can get charge lots into the main base. I would like to see that, but you just don't have enough gateways for it. 3 charge lots you can warp in is not that special. If you warp in 3 as your warp prism is leaving, you can load them into the warp prism and warp in another 3. 6 charge lots is better, but 10 is better still. As it turns out, it is an observer that is being built. We've got the look, it is not often you see these things get upgraded. High sec auto tracking in the neo steel armor. It's the sort of thing that you pretty much just never see upgraded, because really. So I'm not sure that Joe has any sort of plan here. It's just spamming buttons. The positioning of these barracks is absolutely vile. It's making me feel sick. There's no orbital command. He's decided that 13 workers mining is enough and isn't bothering to build any more over there. All the units are here. So if a bunch of stuff turns up here, it gets to kill all these workers before your Marines have even made it to the ramp. We do have this add-on. It isn't researching anything. This is happening. These guys chilling. The forge is up, but no upgrades coming out. So this forge was purely for these 2 cannons. And as I say, you don't need to build that, or that if you've scouted and you know that your opponent isn't going to come. If you see this, you've got a reasonable, at 7 minutes, you've got a reasonable idea that nothing scary is coming your way. Oh, good Lord. So more barracks is what we've got building here. I wouldn't mind to see Joe branching out maybe into, I don't know, factory something, perhaps. Who knows? Anyway, Lily has got a 3rd base up and mining. So, in terms of economy, that's pretty boss. Must be a very healthy economic lead. And there you can see that it is. But it's interesting that actually, army-wise, if Joe walks across the map right now, he wins. It's just as simple as that. There's no shield battery here to keep this stuff alive. 28 Marines will kill all this. But of course, Joe hasn't scouted, so he doesn't know that. Lily hasn't scouted, so she doesn't know that either. Nobody knows anything. More cannons is going to be the order of the day. We've got these charge lots coming in finally, so we'll see if something's going to happen there. Joe is going to move out onto the map by the looks of things. Doesn't know about this observer, and look, the well-positioned observer, Lily sees all. So I don't know. I don't really know what sort of game I'm watching here. It looks like it's going to be a while before anything happens. Finally, the forge upgrades start to come in, and it's +1 attack. I've said it before, I will undoubtedly say it again. Don't do that. Get +1 armor if you're playing against Marines. There is a pretty lit Dark Shrine coming down at the 8.5 minute mark. Potential here for Lily to get involved with some DTs. I'd like to see the observer go into the base and have a look around, because you've sent it all this way. Why wouldn't you go and have a look around? The movement of the observer sort of suggests to me that Lily knows this is coming, and now that the gateway count has increased substantially, she probably can warp in enough to see this off. The upgrades are 0 compared to +1 here for these Marines. So I don't know, but the charge lots will get on them pretty quickly. These ones that are shooting stuff over here is an absolute waste of space. Charge lots are pretty savage, but this is going to be close out. The next round of warpings should secure this, defender's advantage beyond what it is, should secure this for Protoss. It's unfortunate that these guys have that it wasn't a slightly more coordinated attack. This number of charge lots will now just see this off. So I think all these Marines are dead, and the other ones that are being rallied across the map, you need them in numbers. But more importantly than that, you need combat shield, you need a stim, you need medevac support, you need a siege tank, you need something. You know, it was a reasonable number of Marines had it turned up at 4.5 minutes. At 9 minutes, it just wasn't. You know, it's a shame, because with a little bit of scouting, it could have been a different game. You know, if those Marines had marched across the map back when I mentioned it, when Lily only had the 3 gateways, well then, you know, a warp in of 3 zealots just wasn't going to cover it. Oh my word, when do you ever see anybody warp in this many DTs? There's no detection here, and there isn't even an orbital, so these DTs can very quickly end this game, because our turn player won't be able to see them. But Lily choosing to keep them at home, just in case you need a cloaked unit in your own base, because you know sometimes you do. I don't know. It's almost like what is with this number of cannons? It's almost like Cade has been giving Lily tips on how to play StarCraft or something. Anyway, another bunch of Marines is going to march across the map to its death, which is a real shame. These Marines just aren't going to win. They don't have any upgrades. The Protoss upgrades are beginning to kick in, and the DT's just one-shot Marines, so they will slay their way through this in just so easily. I just kind of want Lily to A-click now for the win. I mean, the army supply doesn't look that crazily different, but trust me, you know, it's over. You cannot kill what you cannot see. As Muhammad Ali said, the fists can't hit what the eyes can't see, or something like that. I don't know. Terran building armor is being upgraded here, so I don't really know what to say about that. It'll take the DTs an extra couple of swipes to kill these buildings, I suppose. A warp prism is coming out, so presumably that is going to be for reinforcements for the big Jukaroo, and you know, I'm ready for the Jukaroo. So let's see what happens here. There's a lot of Marines back here, and it's a pity they weren't in a better, more defensive position, you know, with a bunker, maybe 2 bunkers, and some detection, just any detection. This is definitely holdable, you know, but no. This, look, oh god, almost an entire tab of DTs. It's just a bit ridiculous, man. So these guys are going to just walk in and win because there's nothing here that's going to be able to see them. You know, a complete row of depots here instead of here would actually be a really useful thing, because with all your Marines behind that, you could just slay loads of stuff. Presumably these are, no, I was going to say even more DTs warping in. It's just a zealot. Joe just sees this warping in and decides not to bother moving his units or anything. He's just going to stand there. The other units can't get down the ramp because these depots are in the way. You know, if we look from Joe's point of view, see these little, like, just sort of shimmers, this sort of mess of shimmeriness. Those are the Dark Templars that you can't see, and not much you can do about those. So they are just going to come up and kill all those Marines for free. Okay, so behind this there would have been Colossus coming and stuff. There's just no need for any of it. Like, the army supplies are now roughly loads to nothing, and Joe still has no detection whatsoever. So this is very much an over game. I don't know why. I don't know what the hold-up is here. I don't know what Lily is waiting for in terms of just ending this. I have never seen that many DTs in a single game of StarCraft. And I'll be honest, I never want to again. This is, look, even DT Blink being researched, +3. You know, what's it, like, seriously, just go in and kill. Just, you know, if he had more stuff, he'd come down the ramp and kill you. Why are we bringing workers and all? What the hell? Just, what is this even? You know. Anyway, it's all over. There we go. GG.